Okay, welcome everyone. On this wonderful, already we could say a good Erev Shabbos, as we are holding on Daf Nun Beis Amud Beis at the new Gemara. We have a treat tonight. We have some Agadata Gemara this evening. So, Boy Minei Rabbi Preda mi Rabbi Ami. Rabbi Preda asked from Rabbi Ami, Minayin l'kol ha-menachos she'en boyis matzah. How do you know that all the menachos are brought matzah? We said, except for the 10 loaves of the Taida and the Shtei Alechem, everything has to be brought matzah. Where do we know it from? So the Gemara says, Minalon? The ksiba. Where it says that it has to be matzah, then we know it. The like ksiba, and even in places where it doesn't say, but ksiba, it says a generic command, Zois Teres HaMincha, Hakar V'Yisah B'nei Aaron L'fnei Hashem Al Pnei HaMizbech, bring it B'nei Aaron before Hashem to the face of the Mizbech, V'Aniseres Mimenu Yoichlo Aaron Ubanav, Matzah is Teichel. So it says clearly that Zois Teres HaMincha should be matzahs te'achel. It should be matzahs. Says the Gemara, okay, that it's the preferable way to do it. That was never a question. Mitzvah, that it's the preferable way, like kamabayli. Ki kamabayli la'akev. I want to know how you know that if it's not matzah, it invalidates it. Amalei, so he says, la'akev namiksiv, lo yisei afer chametz. It shouldn't be baked chametz, ela matzah. Now it doesn't say lo yisei afer chametz, ela matzah. It just says lo yisei afer chametz, which now begs the question, mask v'larav chista, ve'ema lo yisei afer chametz, ela siur. Siur, now siur should not be mistaken for sa'ar. Sa'ar is very heavily leavened. Siur is a in-between stage. So the Gemara says there are two different shitas of siur. Rameir holds siur is when the dough becomes pale. Rabbi Yehuda holds siur is when the dough starts to crack. So the Gemara says, who's seer? Seer demand. Either Reb Meir or Reb Yehuda. If Reb Meir's share of pale, according to Reb Yehuda, that's according to Reb Yehuda, when it's pale, that's matzah. Matzah ma'al yehi. And either Reb Yehuda or Reb Meir, and if it's Reb Yehuda's share according to Reb Meir, Reb Yehuda's share is pure chametz. Chametz ma'al yehu. Either Reb Meir or Reb Meir. If it's Reb Meir's shita according to Reb Meir holds that seer, you get malchus. Midolaki aleha chametzu. Ela de Reb Yehuda Reb Yehuda. The question is, maybe when it says lo yisei afer chametz, but it allows for the seer of Rabbi Yehuda according to Rabbi Yehuda. That's the first question of the Gemara. Mask Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, ve'ein lo yisei afer chametz ela chalat. It shouldn't be in chametz, baked chametz, but it could be scalded. Says the Gemara, no, chalat is called revucha. Chalat ma'nir revicha. Idi revicha ksiva. Revicha. If it's supposed to be scalded, it says by it scalded. V'haloi ksiba revicha. So the Gemara says no. Here's the Havamina. V'ema dichsiba revicha. If it says scalded, mitzvah berevicha. Udoloi ksiba revicha. You have an option. Ibay revicha laisa. You could scald it. Ibay matzah laisa. That's a second question. Third question. Mask Ravina, the aim of loisi afer chametz just comes to tell me that you get a lav if you made a chametz. Lemekim gavra b'lav ba'alma, but that doesn't mean that the mincha is puzzle. V'ifsulei loy mifsala. Ela l'minala, and the Gemara is going to answer all three questions. Kedetanya, we learned in the Braisa, matzah yachol mitzvah. I might think that it's only preferable. Talmud loimer tia. Remember, tia, that's one of the code words, like kocha, like kuka. Tia means akasav kavu chayva. Tia bav yosin tia has to be that way. Now, Boy minei Rebbe Preda me Rebbe Ami. Minayin l'kol menachos sheni loishis b'poishrin. How do we know that all menachos are needed with lukewarm water? U'mishamram shelo yachmitzu. And we guard them that they shouldn't become leavened. Nilmad me Pesach. We learn it out. Look at this. Right before Pesach, we're learning this. Nilmadam me Pesach, t'chsivu shmartem es hamatzos. You should heed the matzos. Says the Gemara, you don't have to learn it out from Pesach. Amalei begufa ksiv matzah tiyeh. It should be matzah hachayah. You should make sure to keep it the way it is. You have to make sure that it doesn't ferment. Says the Gemara, but we said that the tiyah is used to tell me that it has to be that way, that it invalidates. Says the Gemara, imkein lichtav krab matzah hi, which would have also told me that. My tiyah, shma mino tarte. That number one, it has to be that way, and number two, that you should make sure to keep it in that state and guard it.
How come they don't use cold water? Why do they use lukewarm water?
Lukewarm water is the best to use, that it shouldn't leaven. Now, Rebbe Preda gets a visitor. Amri le Rabbanan le Rebbe Preda. The Rabbanan said to Rebbe Preda, Rabbi Ezra bar Breda Rav Avtoilus. Rabbi Ezra, the grandson of Rabbi Avtoilus, du Asiri le Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, whose 10th generation from Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, du Asiri le Ezra, whose 10th generation from Ezra. He was a very big miyuchas. Kayabov is standing by the door. So Rabbi Preda, he didn't really appreciate this introduction. You know, if you tell me he's a Talmud Chacham, okay. But tell me that he's a big aristocrat. I'm a Maikulahai. What's this, pedigree? Ibar Oryan, who, if he's a Talmud Chacham, yoy, great. Ibar Oryan Bar Avon, yoy, if he's a Talmud Chacham. Enemy Yochis, also good, but then you should have told me he's a Talmud Chacham. But V'ibar Avohon, but if he comes from such an illustrious background, V'lo Bar Aryan, even though he had so much chances and so many examples, then Isha Tichle, he should be consumed by fire. So just telling me that he's a Bar Yichus, that's not a way of introduction. Amrulay, so they told him, no. Bar Oryanu, he is a big Talmud Chacham. Amalahu, so Reb Preda said, Leil Velesi. So then let him enter. Now, Chazia dahava achira date. Rabbi Preda saw that he was perturbed. He was perturbed by that Reb Preda was making such short shrift of his yichus. So Pasach for Amar, so Rebbe Preda started discussing a Gadita to make him feel comfortable. Amart la Hashem ata. You said that Hashem is my master. Toivasi balolecha. But my good feeling is not to you. What does that mean? Amr Knesset Yovnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Rebbeinu Shalom Harzik li Tova. Show me favor. Shahidaticha ba'olam. I let you be known in the world. You know, a Jew's job, you know, to be an Am Segula, to make a Kiddush Hashem, Shetei Shem Shemayim Mesav Al Yodecha, is to let Hashem be known in the world. Amallah, so Hashem said, Toivasi Balolecha, my gratitude is not to you. Eini Malzik Toivel Avram Yitzchak V'Yakov, they are the ones that put my stamp in the world. Shaidiuni Tchila Ba'olam, they let me be known. Shenemar L'Kedoshim Asher Ba'oretzema, to the holy ones that are in the ground. Va'adirei, the mighty ones. Kol Chefzi Bam, all my desire is in them.
If I was having this conversation with Hashem, I would say, yeah, that was there. But now, we're the ones that are doing it.
And the answer is, you're following what they taught you. You're following what they taught you. You weren't it's not, of course we're going to get reward. But he's saying that there's a very big difference between the one who originates it and the follower. Now, Kavan de Shammai, when Rabbi Ezra heard Reb Preda say Adir, the Kamar Adir, so Pasach v'Amar, Reb Ezra had these pithy sayings. Yavay Adir, let the mighty one come, v'yiparal Adirim, and punish on behalf of Klal Yisrael, Me'adirim, from the Egyptians, Ba'adirim, in the mighty waters of the Yamsuf. That's how the Gemara is going to explain this. Let's see it inside. Yavay Adir, Zeh Baruch Hu. Let the mighty one, that's Hashem, come. Dichsiv Adir b'Amorim Hashem. Hashem is mighty amongst, in the high place. V'yiparal Adirim, and punish on behalf of the mighty ones, Elu Yisrael. Punish the Egyptians for what they did to Yisrael. So punish on behalf of Yisrael. Shenem Avadire, mighty, are Kol Chefzi Bam. All my desires are in them. That's Klal Yisrael.
We just said that's only the Ovis.
That represents. It means the Ovis, and that Ovis are a representation of Klal Yisrael. Me'adirim, from the punish them from the works of the Adirim, Elo HaMitzrim, Dichsiv Tzolu Ka'aferes, they sank like lead, B'mayim Adirim, in the mighty, B'mayim in the waters, the mighty ones, the Egyptians. Ba'adirim refers to the water, Elo Mayim, Shenema Mikolos Mayim Rabim Adirim, the tumult of the great water, right? Adirim mishbarayim, more mighty than the waves. Then Rav Ezra gives another pithy saying. Yava Yedid ben Yedid, let the friend, the son of the friend, come, the Yivna Yedid, and build the Beis HaMikdash, Liyadid, for Hashem, B'chelka Yishal Yedid, in the portion of Binyamin. That's the way the Gemara is going to explain it. V'yiskapru bo yedidim, and then the beloved ones will be atoned for. So as the Gemara explains, Yava Yedid Zeh Shlomo HaMelech. He's going to build the Beis Hamikdash. Tichsev vayishloch biyad nasan hanavi vayikra eshmo Yedidya, the beloved one. Bavur Hashem, because Hashem loved Shlomo HaMelech. Ben Yedid, the son of Yedid. Now we would think it's David, but no, Ben Yedid Zeh Avram. Tichsev Mali Yedidi bebeisi. This is a story that Avram Avinu was in the Beis Hamikdash at the time of the Churban. The Yivna Yedid, and he should build the beloved Beis Hamikdash. The Beis Hamikdash is considered beloved. Dichsiv Ma Yedidus Mishkan Aisecha. How beloved is your tabernacle? Lu Yedid, we're building it for Yedid, that's for Hashem. Zakodesh Baruch Hu. Dichsiv Ashira Na Lu Yedidi, sing to my beloved one. B'chelka shel Yedid, in the portion of Yedid, Zeh Binyamin. Shenemel Binyamin Amar, Yedid Hashem, the beloved of Hashem, Yishkain Levetach Alav. Hashem will dwell there securely. V'yiskapru bo Yedidim, and it will atone for the beloved ones. Elu Yisrael, D'chsiv Nosati es Yedidus Nafshi, I delivered those that are beloved to my soul, B'kaf Oiveha, in the palms of our enemy. But we see that Klal Yisrael is considered Yedid. Rebbe Ezra has a lot up his sleeve. Yeah, just like Barry has a lot up his sleeve.
These are very nice and everything, but is there any point to them?
I think one of the things is it teaches you that in Torah, one word could mean many things. It's a very important lesson. So, for example, a very tremendous lesson is that when it says Toiv, it's Torah, it's bread, right? It's light, and this is very important to understand. That, the Torah is nidreshes b'shivim panim. Words can mean a lot of different things.
Just like my name, Rabbi.
Yes, 100%. Barry rhymes with Harry. And you know what that means.
Very mean.
By the way, you make a very beautiful Frankfurter, except that I would have put some sauerkraut right on your face, and that would have made it perfect.
I ate it already. It went right through me.
Now, very, very original costume. All you needed was a bourbon hat, and you would have been perfect.
I'm perfect like I am.
Yeah. Still like the costume you're wearing now. Now, where's Mark? He's missing for a while already.
I think he ate that Frankfurter I was wearing.
Okay, I think Iran has arrived. Got to try to get her earlier. You got to try to get her earlier.
Technology nowadays can stuck you behind the screen, even you just want to be the 5 minutes, get you for an hour. So, I'm here. When did you start? You waiting for me?
Yes, we're waiting for you. We're on Nun Gimel Amid Beis, so we left you some Gemara. We're on Nun Gimel Amid Beis, and we're holding 8 lines from the top. As we welcome in Ruvain Palak, Yisrael Fisher, Yaakov Warman, Berish Gesseman, Baruch Ian, Irving Fishbaum, Shalom Fogel, Dr. Black, Chaim Lerner. Am I right, Shalom, that yesterday you were one place and now you're somewhere else? Yeah. Menachem Yemansky, A.B. Spry, Saba, Ben Zion Cohn. I'm not sure, is that Ben Zion Cohn? Yitzi Fuchs, Barry Cement, Rebellia Yafi, Mo Kushner, Marshall Castle, Michal, Dr. Guy, Rabbi Kranz, Moshe Lehman, Chaim Lerner, Danny Vogel, Stephen Holtzman, Michal Avram Chavin, Shimon Klein, Avram Rezepkowitz, Yitzi Muller, Abe Arbach, Shelley Zeitman, Ilya Shutman, David Helfgott. Here in Shul we have Gedalia Engel, Iran, and Ruvain Shannon. It's wonderful to have everybody, but I have to say that it was really nice when we started developing in the shul to have almost a minyan in the shul. And I'm very disappointed. I really ask people to think about coming back to the shul. Those that live very far away, like Rebellia, and it's really, it's Michal Avram, and
That brings the traffic to come.
yeah. I'm telling you, Gedalia went through gridlock, all those ants that were in his way, unbelievable. Anyway, so Reb Ezra tells Rabbi Freda another pithy saying, Yavai Toiv, let the good one come, that's Moshe Rabbeinu, V'kabel Tov, and accept the Torah which is Tov, Mito from Hashem who is Tov, L'tovim, for Klal Yisrael. Yavai Tov Zeh Moshe, D'chsiv HaTeirah Yisai, when they saw him, Ki Tovu, that he was Tov. V'kabel Tov, Zu Torah, D'chsiv Ki Lekach Tov Nosati Lochem. You know, it's interesting, with all that was written about Daf Yomi, I never saw somebody say the word that I said, that Lekach Tov is B'gematria Daf Yomi. It's really remarkable. Mi Tov, Ze HaKadosh Baruch Hu. D'chsiv Tov Hashem L'Kol. There's another pasuk. It says, "Vani kirvas Elokim li Tov." Right, so that's Hashem is Tov. L'tovim elu Yisrael. D'chsiv heitiva Hashem latovim. Hashem will do good for those that are good. There's another Tov. Who could tell me another very important Tov? It's not Marshall.
Rabbi's friend Yossi.
Matzi Isha Matzah Tov. Loi Tov Heyoisa Adam Levadai. So another Tov is a wife. Very important to know these metaphors. So it says that Torah tziva lanu Moshe Moirasha Kilas Yaakov al Tikrei Moirasha Ela Ma'orasa. So we learn out this comparison between the Tov of Torah and the Tov of a wife is that we should have loyalty to the Torah and loyalty to a wife. We should always be thinking about Torah. We should always be thinking about a wife. In other words, the person goes away from home or he goes into a store. What could I bring back for my wife? One more saying. Yavai Zeh, this is again Moshe, V'kabel Zois, and accept the Torah, Mizeh, that's Hashem, La'am Zoy, Zu, for this nation, that's Klal Yisrael. Yavai Zeh, Zeh Moshe, D'chsiv, Ki Zeh Moshe Ha'ish, this man Moshe. V'kabel Zois, Zu HaTorah, like we say by Hagbar. D'chsiv Zois HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe. Mi Zeh, Zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, D'chsiv Zeh Keli Vanveyu. La'am Zu Elu Yisrael, Shenemar Am Zu Kanisa, this nation I acquired. Now we said Mali Yedidi Bebesi was a reference to Avram Avinu being in the Beis Hamikdash. When was Avram Avinu in the Beis Hamikdash? Amr Rabbi Yitzchak, B'Shah Shecharav Beis Hamikdash, when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Mitzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu LaAvram Shoyayim Bebeis Hamikdash. Hashem saw Avram standing in the Beis Hamikdash. Amalai. So Hashem asked him, Ali Yedidi Bebesi, what is my beloved doing in this house? Amalai al iski banai basi. I came to defend my children. Amalai, so he said to him, Banecha chatu v'galu. Your children sinned and they're exiled. Amalai, so Avram said, Shema b'shagei chatu. Maybe it wasn't their fault. Maybe they did it inadvertently. Amalai asoisa hamezimasa. They did it with scheming. Amalai shema mi'utan chatu. Maybe it was only a minority. Amalai no harabim. So he says, but haya lecha liska bris mila. Why didn't you remember the bris mila? Amalai v'sar kodesh yavru me'alecha. The B'sar Kodesh they removed. Either they didn't mahal or they covered their milah. Amalai, but Shemim him tanto lehem hayu chayzim b'tshuva. Maybe you should have given him a chance. If you had given him a chance, they would have done tshuva. Amalai, ki ra'asechi az taloizi. What happened is with their evil, they're rejoicing more and more. They're getting worse and worse. Miyad ha'niach yadav al roshai. Hashem Avram put his hands on his head. He was crying and screaming and crying. V'amalei chas v'shalom ein lehem takana. There's no takana. Yotze sabasko v'amalei, no. Zayis ranon, like a moist olive grove. Yefei sayar, a beautiful form. Kara Hashem shemecha. Does Hashem call your name? Ma zayis zu achrisai b'seifai. The best is at the end. The zayis ripens later than all trees. Afri Yisrael achrisan b'seifan. Don't worry, they're going to reform and they're going to do tshuva. The Kel Hamula Gedayla, to the sound of a great tumult, Hitzis Eish Aleha, he lit a fire, V'ro'u Dol Yosef, and it was bad for its branches. Now here the Gemara darshans Hamula from the word Hamila. And it was the words, the Lashon Hara of the Meraglim, that caused the fire, because Atem Bechisa and Bechia Shel Chinam, and you'll have a Bechia Shel Dairais. And that would cause the Bayis Rish and the Bayis Sheni to be destroyed. Rav Chinan bar Papa, L'kel Mileyan Shel Meraglim, because of the words of the Meraglim, Nisra'au dal Yisein shel Yisrael. The branches of Klal Yisrael were broken. Rav Chinan bar Papa David Gadol Dibru Meraglim Moisesha. A terrible thing, the Meraglim said. Ki chazeku mimenu. Now mimenu could mean he's more, that the Canaanites are more powerful than us, but it could also refer to the royal we. More powerful to Hashem. Al tikrim mimenu, don't interpret it more than us. Ela mimenu, more than Hashem. Maybe there's a girsa of Ela mimeno, more than him. Kaviyachol shafilu balabayis, they were kaifer in Hashem, that even the owner Hashem eini yachol loitzi kelev misham, won't be able to take the instruments, the Canaanites, out from there. However, Reb Chia Rabbi Chanina didn't like this drasha. Mask Reb Chia Rabbi Chanina, Hai lekol hamula gedayla. It shouldn't say the word hamula. Lekol mila mibayle. Ela amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Avram. Kel choshamati. I heard your voice. V'chamalti aleim. And I had mercy upon them. You see, ani amarti yishtabdu ba'arba malchiyos. I had thought that they should be subjugated with 4 malchiyos, Bavel, and Paras and Madai, and Greece and Rome. Kol achas va'achas kashir arba malchiyos. Each one would be the length of all 4 malchiyos. Hashta, now I made it much shorter. There was one that was only 70 years. Kol chada v'chada made the pasikle. Now the second version, we're going to learn, there's a big machlokes how to learn the second version. We're going to learn the second version is essentially the same as the first version. It would be one after another, each one the length of all 4. Now it will be the long length one time, comprised of the 4 components. It's not going to be, each one is going to be the length, the long length of the longest one. Now, Amr Yishuv ben Levi,
What does that mean?
it means that initially the plan was that just like this Golus is stretching 2,000 years, the Golus Bavel would also stretch 2,000 years. Amr Yishuv ben Levi. Lama nimshlu Yisrael l'zayis. Why is Klal Yisrael compared to an olive? Loi milcha ma zayis ein olav noishrin. The leaves of an olive grove don't fall off. You know, we call it the fall, because most leaves fall off in the fall, but not the olive. Ma zayis ein olav noishrin loy b'yemay chama v'loy b'yemay geshamim. The leaves don't fall off, not in the summer, not in the winter. Af Yisrael ein lehem b'tei lo ilamis. They won't cease forever. Lo yibo ilam hazeh v'lo ilam haba. Like it says in the Megillah, right? V'zichram lo yosef mizaram. Vam Reb Yochanan says now, Lama nimshulu Yisrael l'zayis, lo yimelecha to teach you. Ma zayis eina moitzi shamnoi el al yedei ksisa. Just like oil doesn't produce its best results except through crushing, Af Yisrael ein chayzun l'mutav el al yedei yisurin. Klal Yisrael turns to the better through suffering. So sometimes, lo yaleinu, when Yidden aren't behaving, the Rebbeinu Shalom brings suffering. That's what the Gemara says in Masechtas Brachas. Im roya adam sheyesurin ba'an alav. If a person sees they have suffering, lo yaleinu, yefashfeish b'maisav or yemashmeish b'maisav. Look at ourselves and try to do better. Okay, now we're going to have this shir for the Shabbos table, but before we do, and Irving should put this on the chats. Shelley is here? Shelley isn't here.
He is.
Oh, okay. Motzi Shabbos, my granddaughter, Batsheva Rosenberg, is getting bas mitzvah. So I said I want to run over. They're in Westgate, which is not so far. I want to run over and speak for a few minutes. So I'm going to be speaking there for like 10 minutes at 8:25. So the Shir Motzi Shabbos will be at 9. It's posted for 8:45, but we'll make it at 9 to